the legalization of ganja, cannabis, and hemp here in India, based on the Jan 23rd, 2026. There was a Delhi High Court hearing of a petition between Great Legalization Movement India and the Union of India. On this particular date, the Delhi High Court issued an order to the government to frame proper rules and policies for the full utilization of the particular plant, which includes all the files and evidences compiled by the Great Legalization Movement India Trust and petition at the Delhi High Court for a lot of violation that has been happening to the fundamental rights because of the prohibition of the cannabis plant here in India. Now the government can do three things. First and foremost, the government might consider all the evidences that are put together, and they might consider all the complete utilization of the particular plant, and set the rules and policies for the utilization of the plant. Which includes the personal, the medicinal, the religious, the spiritual, the industrial, the ecological protection, and the economical benefit that we are supposed to reap. Now, when everything is taken into consideration, this is going to be a great victory, and that is exactly what we want, so that people and the citizens in this country can be able to grow the plant in their own home, make the medicines in their own home, use the plant if they're in their own home for their personal benefits and or medicinal benefits, and the industrial cultivation of cannabis and cannabis hemp will be allowed across the country in every single state, where every farmer will be able to benefit from this particular policy. Now, this is the first thing that the government can do, which is going to be a great thing, because that really rests the entire adventure that has been ongoing with the judiciary and trying to convince the government to bring this plant back to the society. Now, the second thing that they might actually do is they might say, okay, we are going to allow only medicinal utilization, where people will not be allowed to grow or cultivate, but the medical companies or corporations or pharmaceutical industries, they will be able to cultivate under very strict guidelines and measures taken care by the government and supervised by the government. And the medicine will be allowed to be prescribed only through the doctor's prescription or through medical dispensary programs. This is the second route that the government might take, which also might include the industrial aspect of it, with only a certain limitation of the amount of THC that the industrial cannabis hemp plants can produce. This is the second route that the government can take, and this is most likely what the Union of India policy framework might look like, based on what has been happening in Uttarakhand and Himachal policy. If they're not going to be very open-minded and liberal about what is the overall situation that is developing across the entire world in various different countries, and this is going to be a second way where it's not a complete legalization, but for medicinal and industrial, we are going to set the rules and policies for this particular utilization. Now, the third thing is they might not even start this particular high stake committee holder meet, or maybe they might start. There might be a lot of hurdles that might happen during the course of time. We cannot predict what is going to be the global events, if something is going to be happening which is going to abrupt and disrupt all of the initiatives that are being taken, or the decision making might be a little prolonged. So this third particular thing, either not making the decision or putting the efforts and actions in place but not coming to a conclusion, is a third possibility. So now, after 6 months of time frame that the Delhi High Court has given the Government of India to frame the rules and policies accordingly for the full utilization of the plant, and as per the prayers requested by the Great Legalization Movement India Trust at the Delhi High Court, The prayers will include dilution of all of the sections within the NDPS Act, which includes cannabis. Because on one end, cannabis is a narcotic drug, there is no doubt. Cannabis is also a psychotropic substance, there is no doubt. But the clear demarcation of what is a good narcotic drug and what is a bad narcotic drug is not available. And what is a good psychotropic substance, what is a bad psychotropic substance is not available. What is lethal, what is non-lethal is not available in the NDPS Act. What is essential medicine, what is non-essential medicine is also available, but opium has been considered as a essential medicine under the NDPS Act, and that's the reason why the cultivation licenses for opium and other things has been issued since then. But somehow cannabis missed out on that particular opportunity because no one questioned about this particular thing, though the science and other things was completely available. Now, if the third thing happens where the government might not come into a proper effective conclusion, GLM is going to step back into the court and the judiciary is going to either give more time or take the matter judicially and then conclude on this particular petition. If the second thing is going to happen where they're going to say that only medicinal things are going to be allowed and for personal consumption and homegrown or cultivation licenses are not going to be issued for everyone, only rich corporations and other things, again GLM is going to go back to the court and say that no, this is still violative of the fundamental rights and this is incomplete because because if the people and if the citizens do not have the ability to grow their own plants, it's a great violation to the right to privacy, right to basically fundamentally right to grow nature within our own home. Okay, and if it is a very bad toxic culture that is going to be developing from this particular thing, we wouldn't fight for it this hard, like. But cannabis is actually an extremely safe thing, and it has been one of the most ancient cultures that humanity has witnessed, and it is a medicinal thing. And no government has the right to say that no, like, you cannot grow your medicinal plant. But unfortunately, when it comes to cannabis, because of its narcotic nature and because of its psychotropic nature, the government will still be a little confused as to how to go about and do this particular thing. But what they don't realize is they've already regulated and allowed is one of the most dangerous and horrible things such as alcohol, and it is being so widely available across the country. So much of violence that's happening, so much of road rage, so much of accidents, so much of rape cases, so much of total lack of control, so much of vulgarity because of alcohol. All of these things are the alcohol in and by itself is sort of like a demonic natured drug and substance. But cannabis is a sacred thing. It induces divinity in you, it induces calmness in you, it includes passing of time more meaningfully in a creative way, in a beautiful way, in a communal way, a unified way between not create a disharmony in the society. Okay, there is nothing to fear about this particular thing, but whether or not the conclusion of the entire stakeholder committee meeting, which includes the various different ministries related to this particular cause, all the different organizations, NGOs, doctors, medical researchers, scientists, everything is going to be taken into consideration in order to come out with this particular policy. So it's a great thing. What we really want is the first thing where the plant is completely set free. The government can collect the tax or create some kind of a card system where everyone who want to grow cannabis, they have to notify the government. In certain countries, how it is actually allowed is every house has the freedom to grow up to 5 plants or up to 10 plants. And if they want to purchase, the medical dispensaries are available both for personal consumption and medical consumption also. And so that is one of the best policies to go forward. And that is the thing till GLM is going to continue to keep on fighting no matter what, because at the end of the day, the fundamental rights that are given in the constitutional for something as safe as cannabis, something as ancient as ganja, something so useful and beneficial like the cannabis hemp plant, which needs to be utilized in this particular country for all of its benefits. That is the real fight, and till that particular thing is achieved, we are going to do continue to fight. So if at all we are included in this particular committee, we are going to fight for the number one, which is the complete utilization, and not just